Alrighty, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing? Let's get the show on the road. Let me get the chat in front of me. Sorry. Hello, Mike. Hello, Leo, Lydia, Thomas, Christoph, Casey, Leo, and Christoph again. Looks like we're gonna start. Hello, Alex. Good to see you as well. Looks like we're gonna start. Hello, other Alex. Good to see you as well, sir. Hello to all other Alexes who are sitting there behind the scenes and will join later. I have a suspicion you guys are many. Alex are many. Alex are legion. Right. Wait. I hope everything is working fine. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it should be. Everything should be working fine. Alrighty. Let's get this show on the road. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I'm kind of seeing what I need to see. All right, Christoph sounds fine. All right, here. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go. Well, all in all, not a crazy open, and oftentimes I think I tend to ask myself sort of the day right after why I forget to mention that is that yes, when we have a lot of bullish momentum in reserve or in buildup, if you will, and we do open up with a big gap, we do end up spending a lot of that momentum on closing that gap. So just don't forget that little bit of things. So kind of boring, I guess, all in all. Gap, closure, momentum. As I said the other day, we have enough momentum to make it to 6K. Now it no longer looks like it. I'm probably going to see a lot of that momentum has been eaten away, so we are on our way to close that beautiful gap as expected. Hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully we're not going to be dragged out through this entire channel process to close it. So hopefully we're going to find ourselves sooner than later here, closing the gap, potentially maybe retesting, moving into a wedge. That's a possibility. We of course have that 59.62. But 6K with every time we burn momentum this way is becoming less probable. But again, let's just see what we have. Plus, don't forget we should be having Nvidia earnings any day now. I think today, tomorrow, kind of thing, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. When are we looking at? What are we looking at? So, market might enjoy a bit of a rally right there. When are we looking at? What are we looking at? We're looking on the 20th. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Alrighty. So wait, no, that was the 20th. The day. Yeah. Yep. Tomorrow. Yep. Exactly. So we're a second away from potentially having a bit of a potential rally here. We know the 150 is the resistance. We know the market can go bananas. How far the nearest resistance? I would argue that 200. We do have some various supports and resistances, but most of the valuable ones and the strong ones will end up around that vicinity anyways. And if that support I'm talking about will end up here, we're probably going to end up testing that anyways. So 200 potentially with good earnings. Remember, it doesn't really necessarily mean that with good earnings the market will rally. We might actually get good earnings and the market will crash. Remember, that actually is a thing. With Nvidia, we can't know anymore. Actually, it's a bit of a crazy thing. So, what are the technicals are showing? We can look at. We've seen this before. I think the thing that we really, oh no, I kind of skipped that one. But well, yeah, the thing that we want to be most attentive to is that same structure that we're getting on the monthly on the S&P, which is tremendously scary. So don't be all that surprised if we might see a correction, and we're building up towards something very similar on the weekly. So all of these mid-range time frames that we can judge upon based upon and see what we're expecting in the near-term future. Relatively speaking, those are indicating negative momentum, but that's not a surprise. We've seen this before on everything else. Those who remember this chart is when we have the S&P, Tesla, and Palantir overlaid, which does help us to see how most of these assets are moving in tandem. And actually, amusingly enough, instead of having them meet somewhere in the middle or a lower end when the market starts to correct as was expected, we ended up seeing the assets catching up with the indices, which is not all that abnormal. I mean, it's not very common, but not impossible. That is what we got right now on the S&P structure when it comes to comparison to other assets, but that's less interesting to those who hang out with us. Let's continue to what we usually do here. Let's check out the regular culprits, jump between the time frames and see what we can see. So right now we're basically an inch away from that gap that we've generated on between the 14th and the 15th. So basically we're a second away from moving right in. Those of you who know it's probably very likely that we're going to test it before we are able to penetrate. So a lot of that momentum is probably going to be spent on just testing up and down. Now, last earnings were great and downwards. Exactly, Thomas. Very good, very good. Exactly. As we say, both scenarios can play out. Thank you for emphasizing that point. I mean, we've seen it on other assets as well. So right now we're still moving within the temporary channel. This is the short-term one, right? You're saying this is what is dictating our movement. But this is coming to an end. There's a high probability that we're coming to an end here. Momentum is kind of iffy. So we're looking at 5 minutes. Remember, the 5 minutes kind of allows us to see the future of the 1 minute, right? And onwards, as we're going to go and look at the other larger time frames, we still do have that phenomenal gap above us, which I do hope and pray we will close that sooner than later, because it will allow the market to move in a more of a consistent, more sort of actual direction rather than just filling in chores. That is, boys and girls, a Q pattern, or a crooked ass pattern, as we say. I'm just kidding. Let's go 30 minutes. 30 minutes, what do we have? We have, again, larger time frame, sort of larger cycle, that the same sort of similar structure that we saw right here, but now you can see it switches over, and now the actual larger structure is the one that is moving upside, the one that we've tested sort of just recently, and we're moving down this channel, the shorter range channel, if you will, probably testing this area. But as I've said and I warned, it's not going to be a straightforward process. We are probably gonna, more so likely, you see, we kind of skipped over the median as well. You see that median, the beautiful thing? So we're probably going to test that as well. Right now, we just penetrated into this gap a little bit. So we're basically kind of playing catch-up, cat and mouse game with a bunch of gaps right there, keeping us in a range all in all, right? So we're not really going to be breaking that range right now, the range we've seen here before. It is, blah, 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 what is that? 58, no, it's 5809. That's actually 5809, kind of that range, right? That's what we get, and this is what probably we are aiming to test, closing that gap, and maybe testing that at 5780, completing the closure of the gap, because you see we have a little bit left over right there. If we're gonna close that, we still have a bit left over below the 5809 right here, so very, very probable. What else? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry if you guys are getting commercials and stuff now, but remember, these commercials and all that wonderful, annoying stuff that might annoy you, it is going to support the channel. So please, be patient with that stuff. YouTube Premium don't get it, by the way. So yeah, downwards momentum, which is not all that surprising, or rather, we're still in upwards momentum. We're squeezing that momentum, and we're probably going to correct downwards. So that's actually not all that great. I would have preferred to see the continuation of this, but let's see how true this is all in all. Overbought territory on the 45 minutes as well. That means we're squeezing the juices already, and we probably don't have a lot. Not exactly what I would have wanted to see. I know it's crazy because I have a downwards position. I have an SQQQ position, which I have 580 of right now post reverse split. So But it doesn't matter. I actually do prefer to see the market continuing to go to the upside, close that gap, and only then continue, having no chores left over. We have this gap as well, so it's kind of it's a double annoying thing. I'm kind of exaggerating here. I mean, it's more. I cannot draw a straight line to save my own life. I'm so sorry. It's more like this kind of thing. All right, that's more of the gap we're having there. Still needs to be closed. You see, partially not closed, so quite possible that it's gonna do that sometime soon. We are again overbought. We could squeeze the way we are structured right now. I'm not gonna be surprised if just simply this process correcting to the downside will allow us to close the gap. So I would argue that we are still moving towards closing the gaps. Next level, wait, we haven't even finished the regular stuff. Wait, hold on, man. Come on, man. Boys and girls, also, this is not going to be too long one because we do have an academy session today with Tom. So this is not going to be too long. Don't forget about that one. Just letting you know, this is why this one is rather earlier than usual as well. 4 hours. 4 hours is kind of sketchy since we're sitting right there perfectly on the 20%, on the stochastic RSI, which is still, if we are gonna converge on this one anytime soon, we will still see a correction to the downside. It does happen so that the market, or whether we see enough momentum going over the 20 and only then having a correction. But how likely is this? Well, with this sort of momentum, it's hard to discern because we are seeing enough momentum to close that gap, so that probably might break through, and a convergence divergence only above, which is not all that great. I was hoping, here, sort of the only one hope I can say is that, and you need to understand what is it I was hoping. I was hoping to see that when we will be closing towards that gap, we will not see the momentum inch so closely to the 20, giving us an opportunity potentially of convergence, divergence, and remaining in the overbought territory, which could happen still. But again, that will have to happen today, tomorrow-ish, kinda, for it to work the way expected. Daily, a little bit worrying, as at least, I mean, depends who you are. We're seeing a little bit of a cool off right here, potentially indicating that we're going to have convergence, divergence, and moving right back up into overbought territory. Although the way the forces are closing on each other doesn't necessarily mean we will flip over right now. It just shows that there is weakness on the downside, right? There is some weakness, and that weakness is justified. We're not going to be surprised if we're going to see that particular gap get closed. Again, it all sort of correlates onto the smaller time frames. You have to understand this is an orchestra, not an individual picture, and all these things will happen separately somehow. No, they're basically a part of the bigger picture. Just for pipe, gotcha. No worries, next level. Just things will pile up, you know. I'm worried that I'm gonna forget, if anything, or you know. So yeah, that is amusing. I mean, that is amusing. It's just, this is great. This is just goes to show exactly how much the market can make sort of the process of switching over to be a struggle, really, if you will. And on the weekly, it implies that we are not able to penetrate into overbought. We're simply not having enough momentum and we're breaking down. Given that we're now switched over and we're more bullish than bearish, sure, there could be potential that we squeeze a little bit more juice out of this thing, potentially spending maybe a week or two on the whole process. But again, it doesn't change the trajectory. What trajectory is that we're talking about? This one. So I'm just, again, we were warning and warning and warning, and at some point, and I hate to say it, it sounds like wolf. The wolf never shows up, but remember, it's there is no shtick and running into the town and saying wolf and the wolf was right behind you, right? The whole idea here is to be able to actually predict things outwards and not to, into the future rather, and not, you know, be kept and obvious that this is telling you what you can see out of your own windshield, so to speak, right? I mean, none of us are rally racer. We don't really need a navigator right next to us. We can see, right? So if anything, what we are doing here is trying to predict what is up to come, not what is obvious and already happening. This is rather phenomenal. We completely burned out my hypothesis on how sort of we're supposed to break on the lower end. We were squeezing, as you can see, but just as I've said, as we are squeezing right here on the smaller time frames to the downside, you see how the forces squeeze towards one another, attempted this convergence a little bit, but really broke off, diverged, and we ended up continuing to the upside. So that can happen as well, just as this is an example to what we spoke about earlier. I mean, we can always continue, but we know that these kind of don't matter. We know the same picture. This is temporary because this is the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is just painful. So we're expecting this to continue. Again, part of that convergence divergence thing that we just spoke about. All in all, we have still another month and 13 days to see how this 1 year candlestick is gonna close like, and when it will. We will be smarter to say how things might pan out, or rather move towards what. Right now we are seeing even if of course everything is temporary in the market, as you can imagine and understand, but temporary and long enough correction in the potential future right here in the cards, if you will. So I mean, again, we're ready for that. Nothing really changed. We are still looking at closing this gap, just as I said in the previous calls. And yes, we might still have enough momentum to close all the way to that 6, but as you saw, it is slightly deteriorating. And again, looking at that hourly time frame, which looks very, very sketchy, I doubt we have enough to make it all the way from here to here, at least based upon this time frame and how we're squeezing the bejesus out of it. Alrighty. Maybe the 4 hours will be where it's all hidden. We'll see. That is that. So that's your S&P, your daily update on what's going on and how we should be, viewing today's price action. Surprise, surprise, we're having the price action struggling exactly on that very resistance. Is it, or have it been moved up a little bit? Have it been moved up a little bit, I think? No, it's been moved up. Okay, so it's not struggling based upon that. It's struggling based upon something else. So yeah, give me a second. Hold on, boys and girls. 1 second. All right, sorry for that. Pardon me. Hello, Danny. Hello. Let's get into the tickers. Sorry for that. I need to look at tickers. Let's see if I didn't miss anything on the chat. Do we still sub $100 is possible? What are we talking about? Tesla today. Yeah, no, absolutely. We can look at Tesla. And what do you mean? Yes, Space Monkey. It's of course these I'm sorry to say, I'm probably one of the most consistent people you will find online. And I'm not going to be changing my opinion based upon us the market having a bit of a green day or a bit of a red day, and I'm never biased. I'm just talking about what the market is giving us, what we can literally visually see and predict outwards as much as we can. Nothing, absolutely nothing has changed with the thesis. Yes, we are expected to see below 200 with Tesla. In fact, we're still expected to see around the $100 range. I know it sounds a bit insane right now. If a correction is going to happen as expected, as we're seeing in the cards, everything will drown. Everything, all the assets, I repeat, all of them. There is nothing safe other than very particular assets that are designed to stay afloat. Guys, I'm sorry to be so consistent. Space Monkey, you really need to understand what it's all predicated on. It's if a tsunami is moving towards your town, I'm sorry, it's not gonna stop because you put a little stone or throw a little stone at it. No, it's not gonna cut it, Do we still think sub is possible? Absolutely, like I said. Nvidia Wednesday after close. Yes, we said that. To join Greg's Patreon, absolutely. Yes. Be attentive. Nanis is letting you know. By the way, I am considering this $10 tier to keep it open until the end of the year, and whoever gets in, and post the end of the year, basically moving into next year, it is going to be a new tier that is going to be more expensive, and only those who will get into the $10 tier will be grandfathered in. Last earnings were great and downwards. Yes, we said that. Earnings will be great in numbers. Not almost certain, right? But great enough is the question. Will it be great enough, basically? We will have to see. Absolutely. All right, so we will take a look at. Let's start Tesla, because Space Monkey asked. I wasn't sure you thought Trump. It's not. Trump is not a magician, Space Monkey. I'm sorry, he's not a magician. He cannot. The only thing Trump can do is make it less bad, or rather, what we are expecting is normal. Again, all right, let's just go over this so you can see. Right now, so we are moving on in uptrend, right? The current resistance that is a major point will be 414.50. We do have a gap below us right here, it seems. We have another gap right here below us, it seems, and another gap right here below us, it seems, which brings us neatly, perfectly to our channel that we've been testing all along, and finally we're able to break through. So surprise, surprise, I'm suspecting that eventually when we will drop down and on our path down, we either break in or at least drop on top of that channel and end up moving on top of it to lows later as the market breaks. It's pretty phenomenal, I gotta say, all in all. So daily, we still have now a bit of a cool off, so a little bit of a positive momentum right there. I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to have another impulse right there, maybe even another impulse right there, moving all the way into the upside. The problem is it has very limited time before your weekly will start squeezing that momentum and start to correct to the downside, subsequently corrections on the smaller time frames, of course, and eventually you're gonna see your monthly running out of momentum, which is not all that far. Of course, we're seeing all that rally because of we are just moving into overbought territory. And on the grand picture, sort of what you will see is probably the switch over of the bullish below the bearish, basically market breaking down as we're still in oversold territory, as you can see. That is on the 3-month chart. Okay, just a bit of a longer period. Remember, we've been again, we've had a wave before that was a very positive wave. Now we're paying for it, and then we're going to see really how things will pan out, right? Just kind of the bigger picture of things, right? And here we don't have data. Oh, well, we have data? We do have data? Yeah, that's not surprising. Again, sort of holding below the... We have the data. We have the data. All right, we have the data, of course. It's only the year that I don't have. Right, all right. Yeah, still keeping below oversold territory here. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to see this really switch over anytime soon. We do have this one get locked in within a month, as we said, just like the rest of the major time frames. And then we're going to be a little bit smarter. But based upon how the time frames are looking right here, this is probably will result in a switch over below that 20 range and basically remaining in oversold territory. Doesn't seem like it's ripe to go up. That is Tesla for you. Tesla is very, very related to the major indices. S&P, of course, pretty much having the same behavior. There's a reason why we have this chart, in fact, emphasizing that when the indices will break, the assets will break with them. The assets have nowhere to go. They're part of the system. That is that. Space Monkey, I'm sorry. It's I know you guys really want me to change and be really positive about your own one individual asset, but it's not gonna happen because it's not the asset's fault. It is the overall market that is suffering, and it will have a lot of turbulence and eventually a deep correction, which we see in the cards and the indices. And it is horrible what's going on with the individual assets right now because people are buying into the FOMO and they're going to be squeezed out and it's going to be ugly. That is my opinion. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I swear I'm so sorry. Where? Nvidia Wednesday, right? We said Nvidia. There's not much to see there. We spoke about this. We know the various supports resistances. 150 perfectly plays its role, as you can see. Magic, right? Black magic, voodoo magic. Woo! My 140.76, which you might as well just call it 140. Um, mm, 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 mm what is going on now, kind of starting to correct. Let's see how it will end, whether it actually makes it into oversold on the daily, then giving you a little bit more bearish momentum, potentially opening the door to testing 118 and 115 again. I would argue, because it seems like we're stuck in that range, and I would argue that we're gonna see that drop off unless earnings will make it all go irrelevant, which earnings will probably do. Will make it all irrelevant. We'll probably see this getting tested as the market does this crazy thing on the earnings, right? The question is, how will it result? Obviously, I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see the market go, like I said, wee, like that. Basically go crazy. Maybe before it all starts to drop, then go up, then go down. We'll just can do all the crazy shenanigans tomorrow. I promise you that one. If you look at the price action during the earnings, post-market usually, which remember, it's not going to be great because we're going to end again resulting with a huge gap one way or another. It's going to be disgusting. There's nothing good to expect out of this whole thing. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Alrighty, that's Nvidia. I'm so sorry, boys and girls. We're not. I mean, we can't really expect anything all that great in the upcoming day or so. I'm so sorry. It is what it is. NVAX. You want to look at NVAX? Let's do NVAX for you, buddy. No problem. What is the problem? You think we have problem? No problem. No problem. No problem. NVAX. Alrighty. Looks like we already looked at this for you, and looks like I've already given you instructions. So why are we looking at this again? Did we meet any of the supports or resistances? Have we done anything I've said we will? So we are moving up back into what are we moving back to this? Are we doing... Yes, we're probably doing that, at least based upon this. This totally makes sense because we are now squeezing that. And overall, we're still moving downside, it seems. As I've said, it will need to correct before it will go up. So, yeah, nothing changed, it seems. We're still going to move down. In order to move up, our down is around 592, it seems. So yeah, nothing changed. Absolutely nothing changed. Next level, okay? Since we checked it last time, not a lot has changed. Maybe we moved an inch up or down, but nothing crazy. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there to adjust too much. It seems that this is your sort of ish potential path. Again, I'm exaggerating with the way I draw these things out. They could be very, very gradual, right? Not as gradual as I'm sort of drawing them. but imagine them being not a singular process. Absolutely, no, just nothing changed. It is reversing or still, nope, nothing changed, nothing changed. Next level again, guys. I'm trying to tell. I just said this. There needs to happen something substantial, very substantial, not a dollar move up, down. It's That's the beauty of technicals. They are very consistent and rather accurate, and there has to happen something tremendously substantial has to happen to redirect or make the technicals readjust. It is very important for you boys and girls to understand. That's the beauty of technicals. They're very consistent. This is why we love them. Alrighty. Ooh. Let's look at what we're looking at also. Christopher graph numbers and almost certain, but great enough. Right, we said that. We looked at, right, that's how we got NVAX just for pipe. No, absolutely. Now we got to look at it. NVIDIA earnings rumor said the new chip have heating issues. They have heating issues with all the chips all the time. Next level. They really do. I swear, it's just insane how they all the time have issues. Well, I guess, I mean, the Radeon series and all that stuff, AMD is having a lot more issues, we know, oftentimes with heating and whatnot. But I'm sure, look, NVIDIA are on the top of their game. And honestly, I'm not going to hate and say they're going to have any issues. Or rather, any issues they might have will probably going to get resolved. I'm assuming that. So, Danny, yes, hello, good to see you. Good to see you. Hello. WMT, mama, let's do WMT. WMT Walmart. Walmart is a good idea, by the way. Yeah, yes. Walmart is a good idea. I think we've just looked at them the other day as well. Mom, I'm sorry to say, not a lot has changed probably either. Let's see what we can see here. I see it had two very decent sessions. Okay, holding up this median channel, so it's probably that's a it's a channel within a channel, right? Pretty cool. Okay, I mean, there are lots of times we do get the channel within the channel, but just the way the structure works. Righty, right, cool. Cool beans. Yeah, perfect channel right there. Gap. I don't like that gap, nannies. You know, I am not a fan of that gap right there that is going on right there. Well, why is that gap right there? What is going on? It's all this. Yes, it's the earnings. Yeah, that's gonna get closed. That is not good for you. Yes, that is not good for you at all. That is going to be a big problem. Yes. Nanny, you know that. Just reminder, use the before the start before you ticker. Right, it absolutely helps me find the things because I'm a moron. Nanny, thank you very much. I'm very, very moron. We have to hurry up as well because we have the tomb. The tomb. Oh, you see, I told you, moron. The Tom Academy call very, very shortly, so we don't want to miss out on this. I wasn't sure if you thought Trump or him adding Elon to his cabinet was going to change your statement. No. Space Monkey, like I said, there has to be something. Although, you know what? I mean, look, I'm gonna say this. If there was a lot of red tape that I was worried Elon will have to cross that is going to be amplified in case of Kamala Harris. So what we know is going to be just regular level red tape. He still have to, go through proper regulatory measures when it comes to robo-taxi, when it comes to anything and everything with that regard. But sure, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, the amount of headache things could have looked as for him. So it's a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. For the overall future of Tesla, this is obviously a positive. This is obviously a good thing. And we might actually be seeing some of that playing into the current price action. So Space Monkey, absolutely phenomenal company. Don't get me wrong. The fact that I expect Tesla to correct to 100 when the whole poo-poo gonna happen and all that stuff, should not confuse you for a second or make you think that I'm bearish nor that I don't like Elon or Tesla. Absolutely not. I'm absolutely in love with the company. I was heavily invested from pretty much the beginning, I would say the 30s. And I've accumulated with everybody and anybody who I had, my relatives' portfolios that I've managed back then and all that wonderful stuff. So, pushing it in every direction, basically. Tesla was an absolutely favorite of mine and made me very decent amount of money. So I'm a big, big, big fan. And not just about the money, it's more so about that I really do believe that this company will become, uh, I don't even know what to compare it to. Jokes aside, maybe like a Walmart of some or sorts. But yeah, just kind of mentioning that, by the way. Yeah. So before we continue, let's do Walmart actually properly. Let's look at Walmart. But then again, I know it's look. Walmart is a great idea. I told you all the sort of staples and the consumer goods that we all need, right? Again, ranging from your Coca Cola to your shaving cream to your maybe hygiene products. So again, of various sorts. If again, if it's your shampoo, your conditioner, whatever the hell it is, don't forget people are not gonna rush to exactly quit using these things. Okay, just saying, So your various WalMarts and your Costco's and your Food Marts and your Tyson Foods and all of that sort of stuff. It's not like we can quit eating. It's like, sure, they're not gonna be doing well because prices are gonna be problematic. People will be struggling, sure, but we will still need to buy all their stuff. So don't forget, WalMarts are actually all these various staples are very, very important, and consumer goods assets will be very much doing well. Alrighty, so Tom, ah, but that's not looking great, Mama. That is looking like it's gonna go for the channel back in. It is looking very hot. Very, very, very hot. Very hot. Just like too hot. Far too hot. Abnormally hot. This is not good. This is dying to correct. This is not healthy. You still have the crazy thing is it's like it's basically waiting to pop. And the fun thing is that if you look at all these assets, as if they're waiting for something else to pop, and they will pop because of it. So, um, get ready, Mama. This is gonna be problematic. This is not gonna last. Obviously, this is not gonna last at all. I'm sorry, but it's good in the long run. It's gonna be an absolute, killer when it comes to the long run. I hate to say it, but your correction is also very deep there. Like that is gonna be damn ugly. Like we're probably talking about your 60s, 50s range. Like low 60s and high 50s on a very bad day, but yeah, it's you're dying to correct here. If you're lucky, you're not gonna slip too much. There's not gonna be too much slippage, but this is so gonna correct. I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. This is what the charts say. Not me. I'm not. It's not me. I swear. Look at this. Look at this thing. This is so unsustainable. Come on. This is just not gonna last. So yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Today we're having a bunch of sorry, so that's what we're doing today. All right. Just a reminder: use the star before before your ticker, as you see in mine above to help Greg. Absolutely, boys and girls, that will absolutely help me find where it was up and all that one stuff. I wasn't sure if you thought, yeah, we read that. Space Monkey, I hope I was able to help and at least give you a perception of what's going on, but really haven't changed. I'm sorry. Come and join us on the Discords, on the various Discords, and I will, absolutely discuss Tesla with you in depth all day. I really don't care discussing it in depth. Just people here getting bored seeing the same stuff again and again, I guess. And I don't want to be boring people. Or maybe I'm just crazy and no one cares about seeing Tesla again another time. No one worries about that. Greg, interesting point. I wonder what was that about because I don't remember anymore. APLD. Damn, we're running out of time. I'm gonna try and make as many of these as I can, all right, before I need to run. But yeah, maybe make sure boys and girls realize, damn, what is this? This is already looking interesting. This is already looking interesting. I might be liking this, but this is market related, and I don't like anything market related now. Let's see what it says. I'm sorry. Had to drink. Didn't mute this time. Sorry. Sorry. Oh, damn. You're obviously going to be testing whatever that is. Oh, that's 10. That is $10 right there. Right there, you have a $10 mark. Obviously. That's going to be your 10. Right? Oop. What did I just do? Holy bejesus. Holy baby Jesus. Alrighty. Yeah, well, let's just do that. I mean, who cares? Right. So you have 10, which is very obvious here, which is, by the way, very obvious here as well. You literally have to be dead, dumb, and blind, and you're going to... dead, dumb, blind turtle, you're still going to see it. So it is. Here it is. I wonder if YouTube is punishing me because I keep on saying these things. I wonder. So 10 and wedge. You're obviously gonna wedge here. That's gonna be a fun time for you. And as you wedge, you're gonna think of me because wedge right here. It's gonna happen there, just like I always say. These wonderful wedgies. Wedgies, the market will wedge you, and when you will be wedged right there and finish with all that beautiful stuff, you will probably gonna drop to here. And no, that is interesting. That is interesting. Okay, so yeah, you're probably having a channel here in between. It's kind of that was the thing. So that makes a lot of sense. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. Let's see. Yeah, you're obviously going to go there for a deeper correction, and when you're done with the correction, then you're going to be moving to the upside, but until then, you're going to be testing that wedge. So wedge first, correction downwards, and then movement upside on a longer run. So, yeah. Hey, that's cool. This doesn't seem like you're going to do this thing anymore. It seems like this is your actual common ground now, which is around 10, which means you're underwater right now, all in all. But don't expect this. Do not expect this. Do not. Do not expect this crazy thing. No. Do not expect it anytime soon. I hope that helps. Alrighty, where? Okay, Chris, right. Oh, you see, Chris, what a legend. He even wrote me the name of the company, so my stupid brain doesn't have to struggle to remember all the tickers. I'm sorry, boys and girls. At first, I remember many years ago, I remembered many of the tickers and immediately could correlate them. But at some point, your brain goes bananas and you just start forgetting things because there are so many similar tickers, and you end up looking through so many things and your brain goes bananas. So you just end up relying on the tickers. That's how I work. That way you don't confuse things. but yeah, the accident look at a whole different company or something, like that. So yeah, I tremendously appreciate that, Chris. Thank you very much. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate your response. No, Space Mafia. Look, come and hang out with me. I can talk Tesla all day. I'm a big fan. I love Tesla. I don't agree with everything that Elon does, but I absolutely can talk about Tesla all day. It's a wonderful asset, a wonderful company, with a great future that most people. It will take me an entire hour just to break down the whole process of what I'm expecting Tesla to become over the next 10 years. And when I'm saying 10, I'm not really saying 10. It could be 5, it could be 7. I'm not really 5. More like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if anything. I mean, really 6, I'm being generous. It's more like a 7, 8, 9, if anything. 10, maybe 11, maybe even 12 years. But this company is going to dominate the planet. The planet, boys and girls. Everybody's households are going to have a lot of Tesla in them. You will see. Nikola Tesla would be proud. To some extent. All right, it seems I was able to answer next level's question there. No need to check. Walmart was just showing everyone. No, why not? Why not? It's a good ticker. I think last time we checked it was like a week and a half ago. It's long enough for me to remember we didn't check it yesterday or something. Maybe I'm crazy and we did. Oh, where was the hit the like? Alan, you're such a legend. Thank you very much. Even if you don't like it. Anyways. Alan, thank you very much. You're such a legend. ExxonMobil? Yeah, Lucas, why not? Let's do ExxonMobil. You see? My brain no longer having good function, it's forgetting stuff. So well, I hate to say that ExxonMobil does want to go down, obviously, first to test that wonderful wedgie right here that you're gonna have. That is wonderful wedgie. And then you're going to be a lot smarter to know whether it's going to break down or break up. But I would argue that it is attempting to break up and not down. It is misleading, but it is wanting to go up. So first down, right? More down to this wedgie thingy that we saw, probably testing that median. And I suspect that up rather than down. ExxonMobil does want to move up, at least at the moment. This is very sketchy, I would argue, but given how oil works, again, we'll have to follow up on this as it does correct. When it does complete the correction to that median and test it again, it will be smarter for us to discern, and I think it will try to drag the median, that wedgie thingy, right into the earnings. So yeah, you're probably going to be testing this for some time now. You're going to be a nice handful of weeks right there. All the way into the earnings, which is going to be 31st of January, right? That is what you have, it seems. Sorry. Wedgie wedge. Everything is moving into a wedge. Wedge. Hit the like, Nanny's hit the like before you leave. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Tom, let's zoom in 45 minutes. Let's. Stonkies on deck. Hello, Mr. Stonkies. Thank you for showing up, brother. I appreciate your participation in the community always. In fact, let me give you all a shout out, those who joined and will watch later. I tremendously appreciate your participation. Danny, if this isn't too complex of a question, why will this correction be so deep compared to the typical pullback to not to hot for too long? Oh, well, it involves a lot of things. First of all, yes, amongst them, too hot for too long. But too hot for too long can be perceived by, we can perceive an impulse, an actual wave that will appear to be too hot too long, but really it's nothing all that special, right? It depends how our momentum looks like and where we are on the harmonic structure. There is a repetitive, very long cyclical structure to the market, more often than not missed by your average trader. And when you are aware of these rules or these forces that are affecting the market, the grand market, not individual assets, and you know how to recognize them and count them and to measure what they're pointing towards, right? It is almost as if I would really want to give something analogous, as if you're being pulled towards a black hole in space, but you're not really going to be siphoned by that black hole. It just simply will redirect you to get to go to a whole different location to where you were planning to go, or any other anomaly in space that will, gravitational anomaly if you will, that will force a redirection. But all in all, it's limited within a certain framework of what it can do. It can exceed, but at a certain point in time, it has to correct and hold a particular structure, a particular matrix, if you will. And that matrix is very consistent. I hope that was enough of a comprehensive answer. That is a great question, Danny. Come and hang out on the Discord when we do hangouts pretty much on a daily basis, and I will be more than happy to expand on that topic. I have a lot to say. I love that question, actually, Danny. I'm sorry, get a helmet. Okay, now it makes sense. Always, guys, when you watch my lives, you should always do it with a tinfoil hat. Always tinfoil hat on. Always. If you can, make sure you have tinfoil boots as well, and a cape. Cape helps sometimes. I've heard that helps. So, tinfoil helmet, cape, and boots. Remember. Or you can go full on Superman and have. I mean, how do you know Superman is an alien? I mean, he's wearing his underwear on his pants. I mean, So don't forget to do the Superman and wear your tinfoil underwear on your pants. To protect the magic bits, You look at Mara. Actually, no. You know what, Mike? Mikey, let's do Mara. I don't think I have seen Mara in about a week and a half or so. That is gonna be a good thing to look at. Why not? Although I don't think a lot has changed. Yeah, nothing has changed either with that one. We're kind of on the same trajectory, still doing that 25 dance, obviously. As I've marked here, we are... So, gap is closed, right? This gap is officially closed, we can say, right? Is it? Yeah, that's closed. I mean, come on. You see, since last time we've checked it, I see we've closed the gap as expected. Have we closed this one? Yeah, you're going to go down a little bit more on Mara. I'm sorry, you're still on a downwards trajectory. This is such a lying thing. It is so going to close this one, giving it exactly that perfect location, right, on the bottom of the thing, and only then up. I mean, that's not going to be too difficult to see what's going to happen here. That is a clear play that is going to happen here. Ta-ta-ta. I mean, ta, or ta kind of thing, or that kind of thing. So Mara still needs to complete the processes that we spoke about, but all in all doing quite well. All in all doing quite well. You're still having your 25 fight. You're basically moving into a wedge here. Let's see how it's going to formulate unless you break that 25. Sadly, if you do break that 25, I'm rather certain you have something right above there. Not sure. I think it's kind of here-ish, which makes you like, what, 26.47 it seems, appears to be. What is that? It's kind of there, if I'm not mistaken. What is that? That's 27. You know what? I'm not gonna be surprised if that's like a 27 altogether. Where were you? You were somewhere here, right? Oh, perfect. Let's see how you sit there. I am. I'm rather certain you have 27 there as well. So for some reason, 27 or its vicinity, as I said, is important. And let me just take another glance at that just to be sure. I wanna see how well I got it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it pretty well. So, when you do complete that 27, which appears to be the slippage of the channel, we have something new to talk about. It doesn't have to be downwards, it can be upwards, I don't know. But we definitely need to talk about it then. So, I mean, you have some time to complete that process, but we are definitely going to look at this again. We're definitely going to look at this again at 25, 26, 27. That is Mara for you. Oh, damn it, boys and girls. We need to hurry up. We have meeting very, very soon. Don't worry, Greg. I won't ask about rope or plug today. I love you, Stonky. Plus, you actually are a student of mine. Those who don't know, Stonks is a student of mine. He actually knows how to do analyze on his own as a big boy, and he's just effing around. But we just don't. I mean, if it's not necessary, we can skip it simply because we really are short on time. This is for the faint of heart, but if you are a buy and hold person, it will pay over time. Absolutely, Alan, 1000%. 1000%. If you don't want to deal with the whole headache, don't be buying with both hands now. That, I mean, no, you do whatever the hell you want, not financial advice. I wouldn't be buying with both hands, but sure, understand that potentially there is a deeper, you know, hole to look at. Stonks Tycoon is the legend. Absolutely. You all are. You all are absolute legends for showing up and hanging out. Thanks for the kind description, Leo Hill. Yeah. I love when you guys are so positive and nice to one another. Late to the party? No, Johnny, you're good. You're good. Plus, you can always rewatch it. Don't worry. But I appreciate you showing up. Ran out of tinfoil, but have some trash bags. Go with it, Walter. Whatever works, whatever defends from the alien vibes. Stunky, we're not, hating on aliens here. Don't understand. You also become part of Greg's Discord perks by being actively around Leo Hill. No, absolutely. All of you are part of the perks, being part of the community, at least perk for me. Makes sense, Greg. Thanks, absolutely, no problem. Mara, very poor financial management. Stock is volatile. We can look at it deeper when we are on the Discord, but sure, yeah, I would agree. There's a lot to be desired, if you will. And can you check Vertiv Holdings VRT, Johnny? That is the final last one. We do it in 4 seconds and we're done. This is gonna be like on one leg. Damn. What did you do there? What did you do? You, sir, are absolutely going to so correct on that wonderful thing. All you had is basically your final impulse, and you are so going to correct on that. That is so dying to die. Yeah. That is Amusingly enough, it has a very similar structure to the indices, and I'm not going to be surprised if it will correct in a very similar fashion, actually. Not going to be surprised at all. I'm not going to be surprised if this is going to follow perfectly the market and correct with it. It has a very similar structure. It is completely out of bounds right now. Again, running hot for too long. It maybe can squeeze a couple of dollars here and there. Again, it's don't be surprised if you're going to end up testing 140 to where you are at right now. I'm not going to be surprised either on that. But you are so going to correct on this. They're all screaming the same thing, and why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? Hasn't been able to join the voice on Discord last week, but we'll have time over. Yeah, we had a great hangout. We discussed all sorts of fun stuff. Don't miss out on the hangouts. And don't miss out on signing up on Patreon. Real quick, final last shout out real quick on my Patreon thingy. So join Patreon, $10 a month, because I'm suspecting I might actually do the whole thing with the $10 tier completely being closed off by the end of the year. We'll see. I'm not sure of that yet. But, I mean, yeah, people who are holding off, don't hold off, because I might decide one nice day, that that's it. It's locked. And those who got the privilege to be only on a $10 tier, and then it will be a $20 tier to join the same sort of exactly the same privileges on the Discord. Don't miss out. All the hangouts and everything, all the activities done on Discord. So first you join Patreon, make a subscription, join Discord, get your roles all sorted out by looking at the FAQ channel. It has all the instructions, and then you get to join me on a daily basis, the community, and the hangouts on the weekend, and lots of other community exclusives, whether it's videos I post, whether it's discussion I will have whatnot. Plenty of cool stuff. Again, I'm not here to sell it. I'm just saying there's plenty of cool perks to it, not gonna lie. All right, and on that, boys and girls, we really need to run, because I will see you all on Tom's Live. And yeah, that's it. Love you all for showing up and hanging out. Bye bye.